Dear Agni Yogis, we continue our serious experiment Immortality with the key practice of Agni Yoga, the transformation of man from a material mortal to a spiritual immortal being. There are some of you who told me, I have now watched almost 100 of your videos, from karma and rebirth to the order of the economy and of the family in the new world. But what shall I now do every single day in order to advance on the path you are so beautifully describing? In a word, there is a risk that you overlook the forest for the trees. Therefore, we propose to begin the practice of Agni Yoga step by step. We prepare a hand rope for those who have resolved to ascend. Agni Yoga offers a complete program for the renewal of both the individual and human society as a whole, for the education of the new man and the construction of the new world. We propose to accompany each of you who welcomes assistance at each and every one of the steps that lead to this lofty goal. Every man, I will go with thee and be thy guide in thy most need to stand by thy side. The aim of Agni Yoga is to build a new step of evolution, the new man and the new world. In order to achieve this goal, we must first and foremost create the man of the future. The more of him comes to life, the more the world of the future arises by itself, by the formation of communities of new men. On the other hand, the construction of the new world is impossible with the old, materially minded, selfish man. Thus, if you wish to contribute to making the new step of evolution a reality, you must first work on yourself and transform into a new man. The world of the future is a community of immortals. If you wish to join us, you have to gain immortality. You yourself must be the change you wish to see in the world. It seems hard to understand, but it is true nevertheless. Gaining immortality is a spiritual exercise. This is so because immortality is a state of the consciousness. In fact, you are an immortal if you think, feel, speak and act at all times and in any circumstances as an immortal. That means if you appear on the material plane as a non-material spiritual being. We had discussed that already in detail in our broadcastings, The Secret of Immortality. In practical terms, this means if you want to transform into a new man, you have to take only 2 steps. First, in the morning, in meditation, you establish the state of consciousness of an immortal. Secondly, in the course of your earthly day, you make sure that you do not lose this position, that you act in the world at every moment with the attitude of an immortal. Thus, the most important practice of Agni Yoga comes down to this one exercise. In principle, quite simple, but not easy to implement in everyday life. Let us now look more closely at these two steps. First, the creation of the state of consciousness of an immortal in the meditation in the morning, and later the preservation of a corresponding attitude in the midst of everyday earthly life. The path of the immortal begins in the morning of each day. You have to spend at least 15 minutes in order to transform into a soul. Each morning brings us closer to the sun. Each tomorrow brings new knowledge. I am now referring to those who are able to greet every morning as the beginning of a new experience. This transformation is carried out like this. You draw your consciousness out of your body and move it into your eternal individuality. Thus you become a non-material, invisible, and immortal spiritual being. You confirm this by saying, I am a soul. You begin with the practice to allow only your true higher self to think and feel within your body, to speak from it, and to act with it. You take possession of your soul. Your consciousness enters this spiritual shell, just as you climb a material vehicle, for example, a car. You learn to make use of your spiritual being, just like a child learns to use its body. How this is being done in detail we have described in our broadcastings, The Secret of Immortality. Go through every morning and memorize again. First, the 7 steps to immortality. Second, the essential characteristics of an immortal. New gender, new people, new religion, new family, new home, new name, etc. And thirdly, the most important qualities of your new identity: invulnerability, invincibility, fearlessness, freedom, selflessness, vitality, and joy of being. Your transformation becomes a reality when you acquire these characteristics and reveal them in daily life. The morning meditation is indispensable to make sure that your transformation does not remain abstract and theoretical. Only during this time, when all earthly concerns remain silent, you can really be a soul. Now you are actually experiencing what it means to be a spiritual being. You have to start the day with the sublime consciousness of an immortal. You must establish the ideal state first, before you put it to the test and apply it in everyday life. One should recall that in the hour before dawn it was ordained that subtle and beautiful ideas be brought to earth. Think of yourselves as heroes and sense what heroic deed you can perform today. Bitter experience teaches, during the day it is hardly possible to find that high state of mind if you fail to establish it in the morning. The best connections with the light are obtained in the morning. It is better to begin the day with a blessing than in bitterness. The regular connection with the higher world is literally necessary for your survival. It alone provides your soul with the energy it needs to subsist on the material plane. The morning meditation puts you in a state of mind which we had described in detail in the broadcastings, The Secret of Immortality. Let us summarize. Your consciousness rests firmly within your eternal individuality. You think, feel, speak, and act only as your soul wants you to do. You are invulnerable, thus invincible, fearless, completely free, and in a calm and solemn mood. You do not want anything for yourself. You do not need anything. You are perfectly happy and completely selfless. You are full of vitality and joy of being. During the time of meditation, you are completely pure. You control your body, your thoughts, and your feelings. As in a church or another sacred place, you have no desire for material things or for spiritual poisons like meat, alcohol, tobacco, sweets, not even for food. Negative feelings, such as fear, irritability, depression, or impatience, do not arise at all. Finally, you know the tasks that are set for you and the assignments which you have to fulfill this coming day. We shall discuss straight away in more detail. This high state of consciousness is constantly endangered. In everyday life, you threaten to crash again and again. In order not to fall too low and not to lose sight of the goal of your day, you have to take a short break at noon. Go into meditation again and affirm your transformation into a spiritual being. Thus strengthened, you get down to mastering the second half of the day.